concert going?
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is LaurieDBunnykins. You can call me Laurie or Pirate today. And welcome to Vivid Stasis. Vivid Stasis is a rhythm game that I'm good at, and I'm going to show you that I'm good at it. We have a lot of talking once the game starts. Speaking of talking, I have someone I'm very excited to introduce, and it's one of the people who introduced me to this game at all, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yes, hello, I'm Ixiot. I play a lot of these games, so, mentioning it here and there has gotten people interested, and I'm here to mainly talk while Laurie gets to focus on all of the amazing gameplay that you were about to see.
So just heading into rhythm play here, this is where the standard gameplay takes place. You can select songs at your will. Thanks to this game's favorite feature, I just have a straight playlist of every song we're going to play today. So I see no reason to keep delaying. Time is going to start when I press enter on this first song in 3, 2, 1, go.
Now, Vivid Stasis is many things, but at the core there is this rhythm game, where there are 4 lanes and a few extra stuff. You mainly tap or hold with the lanes, but there's also the blue and red bumper notes. And those notes can be hit by either side. We'll get into more intricacies as we go on, but we are starting off with the middle difficulty, fittingly called middle. A majority of, every song has at least 3 difficulties, and I would say it doesn't, it gets tricky a little bit in, but I think if you are new to these types of games, it's still something that you can very much look at. Because it isn't, too tough to start off. This song mainly focuses on the key rhythm, or this chart mainly focuses on the key rhythms, being a level 8 chart, and occasionally getting into some more complex to hit stuff, but a lot of it's just focusing on just timing the notes correctly when they show up. And not much else to say, but, this is an amazing song. Like many of the songs, it is a licensed track, specifically from one of the BMS contests. And BMS is something where you can find many well-known songs of other games. This, of course, being one of them. And one last crazy sounding bit here before the ending. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's an all critical, which means all of the hit notes I got were either, or all the judgments I got on the notes were either a critical, absolute critical, or just a standard critical. A perfect score is all absolute criticals, which is really precise, even on easier charts. And it would be a 1,010,000 score, no matter the song. So that's kind of the benchmark that a lot of the scores are based on in this game. Coming up next, though, we're going to stay in the middle difficulty, but we're going to move up to a 10, so our first double digit. This game has difficulty from 1 all the way to 18, so 10 is kind of near perfect in the middle of most of that. This is Poison Garden.
Yeah, and of course between difficulties, stuff has their ranges. 10 is the highest you would see on the lowest difficulty. And it's about the middle of the road here. You're going to see a lot more hold notes here. And I didn't explain hold notes too much, but they are a bit more lenient than you would think when it comes to hitting them. First off, some hold notes you have to hold and let go at the right time. And when that happens, it just happens depending on which game, but this is a game where you don't have to do that. So you can just hold as long as you need to. And in terms of timing leniency, these bumper notes are another such note where as long as you hit them within the normal hit window of a note, they will count as an acritical judgment, which is, of course, the highest one. And that can help with, like, you know, making patterns a bit more complicated, but also to give, like, some leniency to the players to be like a push and pull dynamic. And yeah, you can see, like, even just a jump of 2 levels can be quite a bit. And, you know, even in this calmer section, it's kind of similar to what 8 was. A lot of rhythm game difficulty is very exponential. So, like, even something, say, a 13 compared to a 14 is quite crazy. And we're gonna see, I mean, what's almost like double this in terms of numbers should we reach the, you know, should we reach the end of everything, of course. But yeah, a lot of, like, more complicated note patterns coupled with these, like, smaller holds where I mentioned, like, you know, not having to let go of the hold note. It's something that the charters are basically allowing themselves to do here. And with a calm ending to the song, that should be the second all-critical of this showcase.
Yay! Yeah, that song's a fun one. It's a 12, I believe, on Finale, so it's still a pretty, like, kind of good step into that range of difficulty as well. And it's just a really fun song. But speaking of fun songs that are difficulty 12s, we have our first finale of the showcase, and a song a lot of you probably recognize, because it's from a game that you've probably played.
And yeah, you know, for those not as familiar with the game, of course Celeste is a very popular precision platformer. And it comes to speedrun events and stars, of course, Madeline, who is a trans main character. So that's all cool stuff. And this is a remix that was made for Spin Rhythm, another rhythm game, and is one of the various collaborations this has had with other games. Now, you are seeing some visual effects, and, you know, this is why there is a little bit of a warning here, but, you know, these are, like, various gimmicks to, like, scroll speed, or just to add visual flair. And a lot of that is added here. And as you can see, there's some more complicated, like, hold patterns where, you know, you have to anchor one finger onto a key while the others are just hitting other stuff. And, you know, a lot of that you'll be seeing more in finale charts as, you know, we moved up from a 10 to a 12. And honestly, I'll let you enjoy this little bit of the song here. And yeah, you can see a lot of, like, how holds complicate patterns, and then also how bumper notes get mixed in with everything, becoming a bit of a, like, reading aspect for these games, where you have to note, well, this finger would be better to hit for this bumper note, so it flows better, and stuff like that. And also, I will say this may not be the last we see of something Celeste adjacent. There may have been hints throughout for those with keen eyes, but we will be seeing that in a little bit.
One good. If you flub a hold and you don't hold it perfectly, but you're able to, like, kind of re-grab it in time, you still get a good for that tick of the hold note, so that's what happened there. But yeah, no, we'll be seeing some more of this game pretty soon in the set list. But for now, before the next song, Sel, if you have any announcements you want to make, now's a good time to just make a quick one before our next song.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to remind folks, wherever you're watching, come on over into Twitch chat. Come join us, hype up this showcase, but also get your donations in. We have $50 of the $200 needed to get those bonus songs. I've been loving this showcase. I want more showcase. I want to see some harder songs. Donate. Come on, everyone. We can do it.
We have, I think, 11 songs left, which is not a lot. This next one is pretty short. It's 2 minutes exactly. It's one of my favorites. It's got a little bit of strobe effect, so be careful if you're sensitive to that.
Yeah, watch out in terms of all of that, because the gimmicks that I introduced in Beyond the Heart are kind of put to like a bigger extreme here, as this one focuses more on that visually, the notes themselves moving around instead of just like the scroll speed and the lighting. And yeah, you can see a lot more bumper usage, and again, that lack of a proper timing window for bumpers is something that you grow to get very accustomed to, and it's like a very good comfort because in a way it can be seen as a break between like these complicated patterns with these chords or multiple input at the same time. So it can be a little bit of a break from having to properly time to hit other notes. Yeah, a bit of like a fancier looking thing where the holds kind of accelerate themselves while other things are going on around it. A really cool visual effect that hasn't been used too much in like official games. And speaking of, official games, if you haven't heard, this game is free. Like, you, after watching this and of course the rest of the marathon, you could be trying out this game if you think it's really cool. Trust me, there are many cool aspects beyond just the rhythm game aspect, and I would highly suggest it. And there's more amazing music just like this. Nice job.
That's like one of my favorite songs at this difficulty level for sure. And coming up next, we have a song that is also pretty, I guess, intense, you could say, but maybe not as much of a groovy way. Maybe a bit more sinister, I guess.
So this is Gengaozo. If you have been playing like some rhythm games recently, whether it's something like Tunithm or Archaea, or even like, some less popular stuff, you might have heard of this song. It has recently gotten quite a bit of popularity, despite being a song from all the way in 2003, which I want to say makes this just the oldest song in the entire game. It has stood the test of time for being very popular within BMS, which I mentioned earlier, for being something in there that people have made a lot of like very stamina intensive charts. And you can see a lot with like the constant like back and forth note trills that happen here, where you switch between, the various lanes of the notes and bumpers and all of that. And that's kind of the infamy of this song, where you have a lot of just these constant streams throughout a nearly 3-minute song, which for back in the day was very unparalleled. But a lot of that has made it to where, if you want to get better at playing all the stamina, if a game has Gengaozo, you better get used to it because it's really good for practice. And we have a bit of a break here, so if there's like 1 or 2 announcements that could be said, and now would be a good time to go ahead with that.
Yeah, indeed. Again, we are so close, folks, to getting to that $4,000 total amount for Gate Global Action for Trans Equality. And you know what? If we keep donating, we get closer to 4,000. But if you put it towards that bonus song incentive, I know I keep talking about it. That's because this game is really cool. These bonus songs are even cooler. We need to see them. When you go to donate, assign your donation towards the incentive. You're going to get a nice little, your checkout button is going to turn blue. That's how you're going to know that you've correctly assigned it towards the incentive. Please get your donations in. We need to see these extra songs. !donate in the chat. Every amount counts, even if it's just $5. That gets us closer to the goal. So get your donations in and hurry up, because Laurie's going real fast.
Yeah, like, you know, I say break. This song barely ever stops. Like, it is very constant, but it's in, like, more fundamental ways. It's a very... Oh my gosh, that is a silly score.
That's a really funny score. For context, you might have noticed I gotten a B+ on the previous songs. The threshold for that is 1,009,000. But that's a fun one. Yeah, no, that's a fun one. And now we have another fun one. I'm gonna let you handle this one.
Alright, so there's a lot we could go around here. So first off, I told you we'd see some more of that series, but you might be asking, what is SMOTS? And to tell you this, we have to go back. So Celeste is a precision platformer that is very popular with a ton of people. Speedrunners is one of them, but also people who just like difficult platformers. So there's been some various modded maps throughout the years. And like there's a huge community for that, and one of the most well-known ones is Monica's D-Sides. And 9D is, you know, the farewell equivalent for that. So it's the most infamous thing, which actually very recently got a no-death entire run of that. Shoutouts to Nins. And SMOTS is one of the, like, sections in there. And there's a specific screen of SMOTS that kind of had infamy to where it was just, like, a bit of an in-joke for that became a YouTube channel of just, you know, posting clear of that SMOTS screen. And through that, it became kind of like a internet joke for, like, the Celeste community that kind of went a little bit out of there. And this song, some more of that song, is kind of like a culmination of the SMOTS gaming joke. And, you know, to explain a little bit more, JBP, I don't know, they're a pretty popular composer. Have you heard Do No Harm? That's a pretty good song. But
it's about fishing.
Yeah, with your grandpa even. It's a... Yeah, the fact that this is in Vivid Stasis is really funny because there was a SMOTS gaming video that was, you know, the SMOTS screen made into, like, a playable chart, and then eventually this just became a thing that was also playable. And I mean, it's a really good song, so I won't complain. And, you know, I'll let you enjoy this amazing song right here. And yeah, the spelling out of stuff like, you know, SMOTS there is really just creative charting that you see now and then, but it's always fun to see it. Like right now.
Yeah, that's a really fun one. Considering this game is, again, completely free, obviously song licensing can be a little weird with it, so the fact that we just have a real Vocaloid song in this game is really funny. But coming up is another song with the... sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's by JB Page. It's not featuring anybody that we would be worried to put in there. Just like in other games that may or may not have that. You were gonna say?
Coming up next is another song that comes from a collab. This one is from 7th Beat Games and their game Rhythm Doctor, which is releasing its final chapter in just about a week. If you know this song, the same thing happens in this game. If you don't know what's about to happen, This happens in Rhythm Doctor too. It's normal. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so this is All the Times, which was the boss song of the second chapter of Rhythm Doctor, as you mentioned, having its full 1.0 release in 6 days. It is definitely a very fun one visually, and you'll be seeing that pretty soon, actually. It's a bit more on the chill side when it comes to charting, but there's this. Oh, what was that?
Let me know when you got a moment for an announcement.
I mean, this one speaks for itself, so you are free to give an announcement or two.
Awesome. Wow, this is very cool to watch. But even cooler is we have $10 to gate from Hallow, who says, "Let me hear some more of those songs." That went towards the bonus song incentive showcase. And we are now $140 away. We can do it, chat. I believe in you. But also, could the two of you maybe tell folks a little bit more about what they're going to see in those bonus songs?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So our showcase here only goes up to level 17, and what we will be doing in the incentive is showing 3 more songs. Some of the longest songs in the game, but also some of the most difficult, including an 18, which is the highest difficulty in the entire game. Like, trust me, you want to meet that incentive. It'll be some of the most, like, how are you doing this gameplay of all time? Like, I'm even amazed, and I'm pretty good at these types of games. And yeah, there's a few references here and there to stuff like Soma Union and Noise Other Games, Grode, which is Grode, Soma Union, which is a pretty cool game that's free and also got a collaboration with this. There's also a Shack. And yeah, Noise is another really cool game as well. A lot of just fun stuff going on here. And if you're wondering how this, we said the same thing happens in Rhythm Doctor. Not quite. It's cooler in Rhythm Doctor. I would highly recommend that game. Really cool. But yeah, very nice full combo. Now, you might think, I think I know what you're thinking, which is, how are you comprehending this? And that's kind of what makes getting a good accuracy really hard, because the hard part isn't the chart itself, it's reading it as it's moving all around.
Just playing the chart a lot.
That too.
Just kind of knowing when the chart is going to try and get you to play something you can't see fully is kind of my strategy there.
If it wants to be really silly, you could just remember it.
Yeah. Coming up next, we have a little bit of a break in our little block of collabs with a song that I've done 3 other showcases of this game, and I haven't fit this song on a set list yet, and it goes hard and is awesome and is really fun to play. So I'm playing it.
Yeah, so untechnical reason, we have jumped the difficulty up quite a bit, from 12 all the way to 14. And All the Times was definitely, like, chart-wise, not the craziest 12, but even comparing to stuff like See You Move, this one's absolutely just wow. It focuses a lot more on streams, which are like constant 16th notes. And, it's not too high of a BPM to where it's totally, like, stamina draining, but it is still a lot to keep up with. And, a lot of the patterning also puts into the bumper notes and just various types of tech that you will see if you play more traditional rhythm games, not unlike Vivid Stasis. And a lot more just shows up here. Something that you will see throughout this are something that is a very big staple of Vivid Stasis, which are flams, which are very tight timing windows, like either 24th or 32nd. That's just notes back to back that you pretty much have to hit at the same time, that chord into the bumper and hold there. It's something that you will see a lot as you get into higher levels, especially since they get to mix that with bumper notes, which make it a bit more fair to like accurately time it. But be careful not to like mess up the order there. A lot of people say like some various hard bosses in other games are like dances, but you haven't really felt a true dance like, you know, hitting really difficult patterns in a rhythm game that just flow very nicely between one another, which a lot of like the last third of Untechnical Reason really does. And somehow another full combo.
Yeah, that song's a lot of fun. Coming up next, though, we have the last song, going back to our little crossover block, from a game that I trust you to talk about.
Yeah, so Benighted Rewaking is part of the collaboration with Noise Starlight. We saw Noise mentioned, but Noise Starlight is a mobile rhythm game that's a mix of like really difficult like dodging as well as just rhythm game 4-lane stuff like this. Really, you know, it seems intense, but it's really fun. It might be my favorite game. And this game did a collaboration with it where they got 3 songs, one of which being Benighted Rewaking here, which very intense sounding song, and I mean it doesn't hold back here at all. You know, speaking of holding back, a lot of the difficulty actually is in a ton of the patterns that focus on holds, like you were seeing early on, and you'll be seeing a lot more as we get through this. And yeah, a lot of what you can see with bumpers, and something I didn't properly introduce yet, which jack notes are usually like 16th notes on a certain lane that you just have to keep hitting one note for, and mini jacks are like small versions of that. They're usually like 2 notes or 3 at once. Which, you know, speaking of really cool games, a lot of the games we have shown here are like other rhythm games or, you know, Celeste. I would recommend all of those games, including Noise Starlight itself, which is a really cool game. And yeah, you might have seen those notes that are like black with red outlines. Those are mine notes. You do not want to hit them. They go boom in your face, and then there goes some score. During this part, you know, it's another somewhat calmer section, so if there's time for any announcements, now would be a good time.
Awesome. Again, I'm going to remind folks, this showcase is speeding on by, so we don't have a whole lot of time left to get those bonus songs. They are going to be so cool. You want to see them. We need $140 more to go, which if everyone here donated, we wouldn't need all that much. Even $5 goes a long way towards getting this met. ! Donate in chat. Let's see more songs. Let's get even closer to $4,000 total raised for Gate this event. And let's just get more fast-paced for Pride, because we're getting near the end of the event. We don't want this event to stop. So I believe in you all, everyone. Get your donations in.
Yeah, you were able to see like a lot of just the really difficult hold stuff with like smaller holds where if you just let go early, you know, that's a lot of like goods that happen and a lot of accuracy drops. And still holding on to getting a V rank on every song, which is 1,008,000 minimum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the ending of that song in Noise Starlight, like the whole last part that we played there is entirely just like bullet helling. So I love the way they translated to this game. and made it notes really good. And yeah, we're coming up to the last 5 songs of this showcase. So you do not have a lot of time for that incentive, y'all. Let's get this met. Coming up next, we have our first 15, which is where, again, it's just a really big step up.
Mm-hmm. So there was a time where Vivid Stasis, this is our first, actually our second Encore difficulty that we're showcasing. And Encore is just the 4th difficulty that some songs have. And there was a little thing where people were able to vote, and some songs were able to get Encore charts, Yamai being one of them. Which is partially due to just some infamy of seeing the song a lot if you play some other modes. But a lot of Yamai's difficulty comes from basically just repeating one pattern over and over again, and that pattern becoming more complicated by either being bumper notes or just tripping things up a little bit. And this mixes it into a little bit of a flashy gimmick showcase where it got all bright, the notes move around a ton, but it's about basically alternating between your fingers to just hit the notes. And this one mainly focuses on doing it with one finger while the other is doing something else. It's a lot of just I guess a simpler form of finger control that you would see in some more difficult stuff in other games, but on a bit of a slower song here. And in a way, even the the song's very pretty. Good work by Haru, and the chart itself also is that to me. Even beyond just its really visually dazzling gimmicks, the way the chart evolves is an art form in its own right, and it's something that I think is really beautiful about rhythm games, is that you can really just make something that goes along with the song so well. And to me, when I think Yamai, I think of this in Vivid Stasis. Yeah, 155, not too slow, probably more of an average speed for rhythm games, but it's still something. And somehow through all of that, holding a full combo, that is just... it's baffling to me.
Yeah, that's a fun one. But we don't have a lot of space to play around here. Coming up next, we're going to jump straight from the 15 to the 16. So now 15 plus. We're just kind of scaling really fast. And speaking of really fast, this is an intense one and a long one.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, while we aren't playing 15 pluses, the way this game sorts things is that it has sort of an decimal difficulty system that you can see after you clear a chart with the song menu, because it shows a ton of info. And this one's actually a 16.0, so it is one of the lower rated 16s, but we're still going from a 15 to 16. You're gonna be amazed by what you're watching. And a lot of just building up on various patterns that you see just either in trickier, more convoluted ways, or in ways that you haven't quite seen yet.
Let me know when you got a moment for a message.
We'll let you know. Because as we get into this drop here, you can see a lot of just really complicated hold and chord patterns. And then a lot of it goes into just some fast note sections where it speeds up quite a bit and becomes quite bursty compared to other things we've seen, which isn't something that we haven't quite seen yet. But now would be a good time for that announcement.
Awesome. We have $40 from Wonder J, who says, bonus songs are cool, in my opinion. Absolutely, they are so cool. That puts us at $100 out of the 200 needed. We are halfway to the incentive, everyone. we can still do it. We can still get more fast-paced for Pride. We can get more Vivid Stasis. We can see those really hard songs. So keep donating. Don't give up, everyone.
Yeah, you might think we have, about 4.5 more songs. It really does go quick when you're watching, and I would, you will be amazed when you see what all is being played in the incentive showcase. So I would implore, if you want to see more wonderful action from Laurie here for Vivid Stasis, to donate and pitch in. Don't worry, that was the song, not your Discord. Yeah, just... it gets so intense that even yeah. This is arguably one of the calmer parts, and it's still really tough because it's 16, it's very tough. But still, really nice work.
Still a V by 10 points.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that song is a gauntlet for sure. More of a gauntlet than the song named Gauntlet. But that's besides the point. We are coming up on the final 3 songs of the main set list here. So if y'all want to see in that incentive, you gotta move. And this song,
Yeah. So to give a little bit of an insight about some rhythm games change the difficulties of songs now and then, whether they're like a little easier compared to others or more difficult. And sometimes they do like whole difficulty rewrites where they change like the whole scale to allow for more depth. And this one has a lot of complicated stuff with bumper notes and a lot of the more technical charting aspects that are hard to play properly. And that's how this ended up being quite a tricky 16 compared to whatever it was rated initially. But it's gone quite up since then. Really tough stuff. When you play Vivid Stasis, this composer is one you will happen to see quite a bit. And same with, a couple of composers that we've seen throughout. But really just, it does have breaks, but those breaks barely even let up. For example, this section has constant eighth note rhythms on taps. And I mentioned how like mini jacks or jack notes are pretty tricky, but even just this constant rhythm can be a big drain for your stamina. But we're coming up on basically the one break this song has, so if there's any announcement you would like to read out, now would be a good time.
Well, I have an exciting announcement. We have $25 from Anonymous who says, "Go, Laurie, go! Finish strong. Excited for 06 after as well." That's true. We have one more game coming up after this, but even more exciting, that has now put us at $125 out of the $200 needed for that showcase. That's also put us $101 away, I think, from 4K. So come on, everyone. We have 2 super exciting things to go. Donate, put it towards the incentive. Let's keep pushing for the incentive and the 4K. I believe in all of us.
Yeah. And yeah, really just tricky hold and bumper things. A lot of streams you saw there. And yeah, as you heard, you could push towards 2 things. One, the incentive, and also just that new total. And I will say, within the last 2 songs, we probably have around 6 minutes left. So you really gotta get to it if you want to see what wild stuff appears after we approach the end of the main set list.
Yeah, and I wanna get 4K during this run. We're so close.
That is
We are 75 away on that incentive and 101 away from 4K. So we absolutely could do both so easily.
All right, and coming up next, our last 2 songs of the set list, so we don't have a lot of time. We're going to play 2 boss songs from the story back to back here, starting with our 16 plus Pyromania.
This is actually the first boss song that you will see whenever you play through Vivid Stasis' story. It is 16 plus. We have moved up a whole level from here. And surprisingly, what Vivid Stasis does, it uses license tracks very well. This is not an original song, despite, anyone who plays Vivid Stasis associating this song with the game and not being a song made for someone's Furiosi, like how it is, which is a cool little fun fact. But yeah, it is a huge test on stuff, but it is also, due to its age, something that doesn't get too crazy compared to other 16 pluses, but focuses more on density and more traditional 4-lane rhythm game charting. As there are other games such as Quaver, DJ Max, EC2 On, many other games that focus it more on just traditional 4-key tactical. But it still uses bumpers quite a bit throughout its chart.
Let me know when you got another moment.
We're coming up on a break soonish, but it's still going to be a little bit here.
Yeah. Now would be that good time.
Awesome, because we have Anonymous again with another $25 saying bonus songs. We are $50 away, everyone. We can meet that. We can absolutely get those bonus songs. We can do it. Keep going.
Yeah. We're getting really close to this, and we're also getting really close to the next drop of the song, which is the most explosive one yet. And this is the part where it really tests your skills, and if you can get past this in the story, then you can complete the song. Just a lot of more typical 4-key charting that does not let up at all. And this part retreads a bit of what we saw in the intro, but still not easy by any means.
Yeah, that's a tough one for sure. But coming up next, y'all, again, we still have, well, we said $50 left for that incentive. We have one song.
$50, one more song.
We have one song. According to the game, it's 3.5 minutes. I say do it now. Get your donations in, support Global Action for Trans Equality, and listen to what is probably my favorite song in the game, except for one other. But that song is so stupid in spoilers, I would never play it on a showcase like this.
And if you want to make Laurie's day, we're $76 away from 4K total raise. Get your donations in.
I will say, 328, first off, very funny number for both me and Laurie. Second off, that is long even by rhythm game standards, but it goes by quick. Like, we're already approaching just 3 minutes itself right now. And of course, this is a 17. But a lot of what Vivid Stasis does really well is integrating gameplay with its story. And I think when this song first appears in the story, this is when you know, oh, they can do this stuff really well and give such a lasting impact. And that's like a part of why Supernova is just amazing. And another part is just how amazing the song itself is.
$35 left.
So, the thing about 17s here, a lot of it comes down to personal preference. This one mainly focuses on, I'm sure you can hear, speed. It is very fast, it doesn't let up, it also has a lot of like very complicated bumper stuff, but not as complicated as some others are. But it focuses a lot on chords and a ton of these aspects that some people can do really well on it, and some people struggle but can do amazingly on other 17s. And yeah, here's a bit of the more like complicated bumper stuff. It genuinely does not let up at all. But there's one last break, so if there's any announcements or the like, now would be a good time.
We are $35 away from getting that bonus song showcase, thanks to $15 from Van, who says, banger plays, Umfi.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have about a minute or a minute and a half left, so if you really want to see that showcase, it is a perfect time to get to that, especially as we approach this wonderful finale of the main showcase with the climax of Supernova as a song.
Let's let it go.
Absolutely wild.
We met the incentive. Let's go.
Let's go!
Let's go! I am very amazed by Laurie's gameplay, and I'm just going to warn you, we are not done. We've only just...
I have never achieved this ending. Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, so this goes to... Yeah, this goes to, I think, above 300 BPM at the end. I figured exactly...
in the high 500s.
Oh yeah, that's right. It goes higher than that. I think we started out in the 300s. And there's one last bit. Watch out and make sure your keys aren't being pressed.
That is a massive high score for me on this song. Yeah, like 2.5k high score for me.
You're amazing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no,
Incredible.
I could not have comprehended. For context, the border for double S plus is 1,004,000. So that's my first time getting that on this song.
Yeah.
And with that said, I'm going to take a minute just to make sure my wrists are good before the incentive. Do you want to tell us the donation that got us there?
Absolutely. I'd love to tell everyone we have $35 that got us that incentive at the last second from Cassar with no comment, but thank you so much for getting us more fast pace for Pride, for getting us even closer to that $4,000 total raise. We're $26 away, everyone. We can absolutely hit 4,000 during this bonus showcase, and we will absolutely make Laurie's day, if I heard correctly earlier in the showcase. So keep donating.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I'm going to jump into these last three songs, and I'm looking at the timer, and I kind of need to get moving if we want to match the 1 hour estimate. This is one of the most recent songs added to the game, and honestly, really quickly rising to one of my favorites.
Yeah, a lot of these are gonna be long songs. All of them, I'm pretty sure, are over 3.5 minutes. This being 3:50. This is Goodbye to Your Vicious Cycles by Wengelheim. Believe it or not, 2 of the 3 songs we're going to showcase here aren't even originals. This is a licensed track being made for the Catch World Cup. As going on right now, there is the World Cup for the standard game mode, but there are various ones, and Catch the Beat's one of them. And during one of the various map pools, this is a song that was made just for it. And it does some stuff that you might be surprised to see in this game. Alongside, being very tricky, it has some visual gimmicks tied to it. And yeah, something I also forgot to mention, this is one of the few backstage charts in the game, which is like Encore, but it completely replaces the song. This is normally a different Wangaline song, but Backstage swaps it out for Goodbye to Your Vicious Cycles. And just, it really does not stop with challenge. And speaking of challenge, I mentioned so much about how you get comfort through bumpers that don't have timing windows. These glowing bumpers have timing windows. So you have to play them just like normal notes, as well as treating them just how you would with other bumpers, being able to parse which finger to hit it while playing, and all of that stuff. And there's this just like really visually cool middle, like tiny break before we get straight back into it. And yeah, I will say this song, you know, Laurie mentioned it's becoming one of her faves. It is so fantastic. Every song in the showcase, alongside being very difficult, are some of the best songs they've heard in rhythm games, and I'm gonna keep commentary a little bit to a minimum, both so Laurie can focus in making really good plays, and also so you can enjoy these amazing songs.
And then coming up is one of my favorite parts of any song in this game. So
It's so good. Yeah, and I just gotta say, through this and a couple other games, I want to give some shoutouts to Beat Block, another game that Vivid Stasis is going to collaborate with later this month. Wangaline has definitely become one of my favorite artists in rhythm games, and I hope to see him show up way more. They are a true talent of their craft. And that is also just such a good score.
it's
Oh my gosh.
not a high score, but I think it's very close. Oh, it is!
I mean, I was going to say it is quite a high
It's
score
a
anyway.
high score by 28. Awesome. I don't know what to do with this information.
I think folks should donate to celebrate.
I do too. You're right. Coming up next, we have a song that is also very big in indie rhythm game circles, and also, notably, a song from another games tournament.
Yep. You know, we mentioned the other World Cup for OS. This is from the Beat Saber World Cup. Initially, you know, composed by Cry.exe, someone who, if you play Vivid Stasis, you will know this name. He makes a lot of really difficult content within rhythm games, and I would say Last Wish was like the true big break for him, alongside other songs like Retribution and others. And this one gets really intense really quickly, so watch carefully.
Do you think I want this?
So I'd say more than any, like most other charts within the 17s, this one focuses a lot on bursts and just general ability throughout many different types of patterns, being kind of just a mix of everything. A true trial to overcome. And I mentioned a lot about how rhythm games, you know, at the high level, it becomes a lot of personal skill when it comes to just like being able to play things well. This is the only 17 I have as an S rank, and honestly, like, just having, I can't even tell you what the strengths are in this, besides it does a little of everything. I mean, you're hearing that both within the song and the chart. Like a lot of mini jack focus around here. Just a lot of pattern recognition that you have to do. And we get to a break, and this is probably the only time in the incentive showcase that's good for an announcement.
Well, we do have a new incentive open for the Sonic the Hedgehog 06 run. It's going to be a glitz exhibition after the run, and that is for a milestone of a total of $4,100 raised, which means every donation goes towards it. You don't need to assign it to anything. You just have to donate. We are currently $26 away from $4,000 total raised. I know Laurie would love to have that happen before the end of this showcase. If everyone watching donated just even like $5, we would get so close to that glitch exhibition. So !donate, get your donations in. It all goes towards global action for trans equality.
These flam bumpers are one of the most well-known parts of this chart. And I will say something. I don't know much about Sonic 06 as a speed game, but, you know, like many others, I know Sonic 06 as something that has a lot of very silly glitches, so I'm sure that exhibition will be really good. I would suggest trying to reach that if you can. Also, watch out, for this is not the end. This is.
That is my first double S on the song.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. I'm playing pretty well. So let's talk about the next song before I get into it, if I'm playing well. Cry It Out EXE does a lot of hard stuff. Notably, one of the 3 artists who is credited for one of this game's 2 18 difficulty songs called Apocalypse Call, alongside Ardolph and RN. With that being said, let's play the other 18. This is Scarlet Death. That flashing light warning, like, double for this song.
Yeah, so I'm sure you might have seen the difficulty number usually is color-coded to the difficulty. This one was black and red. So I mentioned the form where you could submit which songs you would want to have an encore. And Crimson Dance by Lexicat happened to be the song that won. And they did something special where, you know, they got the composer here to make basically a remix of their own song. And it is one of the hardest things in this game, both as a chart and as a song. This song is easily my favorite of the boss songs in here. I absolutely adore it, and I think this one really speaks for itself more than anything else. You know, it has a lot of time bumpers throughout, and we're getting out of the calm section of the song, so I will let you enjoy the intensity being built up. I will chime in when it gets to a bit of a calmer section. So, I also didn't mention, this song is one of the hardest to unlock in the entire game. You have to do so much to get it, and you also have to clear it first, and clearing it is really difficult. And yeah, it really tests absolutely everything to a top degree, but I think the biggest focus is like just draining your stamina through jack notes and focusing on that. It is really tough. But even then, there was something I wanted to bring mention to, which is that rhythm games really are something that are special in the way that they have more accessibility in terms of like playing easier content that you would realize, because pretty much every official game has multiple difficulties or just like is shockingly simple to control and all this stuff. It's a really wonderful genre, and trust me when I say it, the death of Guitar Hero does not mean the death of rhythm games. It is as alive as it ever has been, and I would implore you to like check out the genre as a whole. Now let's
play
enjoy
indie games.
Let's enjoy the finale of Scarlet Death. And here comes the final section.
Yeah. That is time. That is also a high score on every song in the incentive. For fun, I suppose.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that is our Vivid Stasis showcase for today. Thank you all so much for coming. Yeah, no, this game is incredible, just in the rhythm game alone, and not even to mention it has one of my favorite stories this year also. This game is just, it's an incredible package for no money.
It's free.
You can go download it for free on Steam right now. Yeah. Do you have anything you want to say first, Ixie?
Just going a little bit more into things. Rhythm games are all really cool. Something that I would actually recommend, if you just want to keep up with rhythm games in general, there is the account Full Combo that gives like weekly recaps of news over on Twitter and Blue Sky from like pretty much every rhythm game. It's a very good little resource to like know what's going on in the world of the genre. And really, I don't have much to shout out, but this game, again, it's really cool. I really respect it.
Mm-hmm. I don't have too many specific shout-outs either. Again, thank you all for coming. Thank you to everyone who made this game, made a song for this game, made anything. Again, I don't really have specific shout-outs. I just love this game a lot, and I'm happy to get the chance to show it off to everyone. This event has been really fun. I've been having it on over the weekend while I'm not at work, and I'm really happy to have been a part of it, and I'm really excited for the next and final run featuring two friends of mine. So I'm not going to waste any more time handing it off. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you both so much for this incredible showcase of Vivid Stasis. And thank you, everyone who donated, for getting us that bonus showcase as well. We'll be back very shortly with Sonic 06, but I'm going to remind everyone, we have one more incentive open for Sonic 06. It's a glitch exhibition for the end of the run. We need to raise $4,100 in order to see that. Every donation goes towards that goal. So while we're on break getting set up for Sonic 06, get your donations in. Let's get that hype going early for Sonic. We'll be back with you all very shortly.